Like, it's not groundbreaking. You're all using the same material, especially in Kentucky. The big six distilleries, they source a lot of their rye from Poland. All of their corn is grown almost pretty much locally. It's all yellow dent number 2 corn. You're all malting your barley the same exact way and probably getting it from the same exact
The difference
sources.
is usually the difference is the yeast. So.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bourbon Theory. I'm Josh.
I'm Bill.
And today, we're going to go over some of our biggest industry pet peeves.
Yes. So this is going to be different. We are not going to drink in this other than maybe some water.
So we want to preface this by saying these are just things that annoy us. Right. If they annoy you too, let us know. I'm sure that a lot of these things will probably annoy the majority of you. Just share your bourbon pet peeves down in the comments below. Let us know what you think about what we had to say.
Give us some other ideas to talk about on the video.
Yeah.
As well.
So, Dad, why don't you kick us off?
As long as one of your pet peeves is not assholes on the internet. Just saying.
Because our first pet peeve is your biggest.
It is mine. Hey, let's move away from real cork in bottles. There is nothing. Well, there's other things worse, but one of my biggest pet peeves is I go to open a bottle and the cork breaks, or the top comes unglued from the cork. Just quality in that realm of it. But in today's day and time, the synthetic corks are so much better. You don't have to have a risk of cork taint or anything like that. You're not using up a natural resource. Not that I'm, getting bent out of shape about that. It's just that natural cork breaks down in high ABV spirits. So let's look at it, and it's, can it be that much more expensive, or is it any more expensive? So that's one. Yeah. Or go to screw tops.
Like distilleries, bottlers, packaging companies, whatever. Help us keep our whiskey good.
Well, and they've got to be breaking corks too.
Yeah, of course.
Really, they do.
Corks. I mean, think of what is worse than visiting one of your favorite bottles that you haven't gone back to in a while because it's your only one, and you don't want to waste it. You want to have it on special occasions, or just when you had a bad day. You need to pick me up, and you go in there, and your freaking cork breaks apart and falls into your glass.
Right. And this happens in wine. It happens in other things too. It's just not as prevalent in those because they don't have the high ABV.
Yeah.
That bourbon does.
So that's pet peeve number 1.
Number 2, another one of mine.
Yes. Is
non-standard bottle openings. And this has got to be a pet peeve for bars and things as well, because they've got pour spouts. We have found some solutions to get around it with some sleeves and some things like that. But man, could we just go to one size cork, one size opening? And
this kind of ties in with the non-synthetic corks, because what happens if you have a Blanton's bottle and your cork breaks?
Yeah. Well, and you have here's what I find too. The larger the cork, the more it deteriorates.
To break. Yeah, there's more surface area.
So can we just get to, and this is glass manufacturers too. So, one of the ones that is a constant problem is Elijah Craig barrel proof.
Oh yeah,
or
especially the old pirate bottles. Those extra wide ones.
Yep.
Notorious for breaking.
Yeah, and to your point, Blantons, those are a little oversized. Mm-hmm. The Spirit or the Pursuit.
They're a little oversized. They're wider. Yeah.
So anyway, just a pet peeve. Yeah. Can we just standardize?
You can have your fancy cork toppers and whatnot and all of that. Just give us synthetic corks and normal bottle opening sizes.
And some of this is for those of us who do have a lot of bottles, and we have a lot of open bottles, and we don't get back through them, on an ongoing basis. So we're not the entire group, but again, this people who have wine collections, you're buying it to age it in. We're not doing that with bourbon, but it's still a real issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're getting into some of my biggest pet peeves.
Mm-hmm.
And my first one is non-disclosure on labels. If you are selling me a bourbon, a whiskey, anything, and you did not produce it, tell me where. And look, if you signed an NDA, that's okay. Tell me, was it distilled in Kentucky? Was it distilled in Indiana? let me know.
Was it
these
distilled
things.
in Alaska? Or,
Yeah,
whatever.
like if you're
It's not going to change how it tastes.
Yeah, if your brand is in North Dakota and you're sourcing whiskey from MGP, just write distilled in Indiana on the label.
Yeah. It's not that you have to say it came from MGP.
Yeah.
You know, one of the companies that's the best at this, and they do have NDAs, so they don't say who it came from, but Bardstown. Bardstown is outstanding at this.
The most transparent big distillery out there.
Because they hit one of the other things that you like on this, and that is, what's the mash bill?
Yes. Yes, thank you. Look, a lot of people, Buffalo Trace is notorious for this. Don't tell me your mash bill. Oh no, if somebody's seen to copy it, it's probably 75-21-4. Like it's not,
or within
a
few percentage
differences of that. Like it's not groundbreaking. It's you're all using the same material, especially in Kentucky. The big six distilleries, they source a lot of their rye from Poland. All of their corn is grown almost pretty much locally. It's all yellow dent number 2 corn. You're all malting your barley the same exact way and probably getting it from the same exact
The difference
sources.
is usually the difference is the yeast. So
I don't care.
And how long you cook and you know,
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now that's a lot of
what your heats
information.
are. I don't need that stuff.
It'd be nice to know like how long it was fermented, yada yada yada. But all the other stuff, like, come on.
But yeah, what we're talking about. So here, this is Bardstown Discovery Series 10. Okay.
I got my long arms. I'll point it to the
Well,
camera.
I was just going to tell them some of the things it's on. It tells what percentage came from what barrels, what the mash bills were on those barrels, what the ages were on those barrels, and what state they came from.
Mm-hmm.
So, does this make the whiskey better?
No. But it makes me feel better as a consumer.
And it gives me an idea of what I'm getting, you know? So, I think, and just more information is more information.
Yeah.
Right?
And for instance, these disco series have wild turkey juice in them, these most recent ones. And how do I know that? Because Wild Turkey discloses their mash bill, 75, 13, 12, and it's on here. It's Kentucky distillate, it's age stated, and it has the mash bill. Now, do other companies use that?
Most likely.
Yeah, do other companies use that? I'm sure they do. But it's from Kentucky. We have a reasonable expectation to know that that's Wild Turkey juice.
Yeah. Again, it just makes the experience better.
Yeah. It makes me feel better when making a purchase, especially a high dollar purchase like those disco series.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not cheap. They're like $150.
Yeah, 140. Yeah. So here's where we are.
Yeah, the next one's kind of mine too, and it goes along with the labels. And this one you don't share so much as I do. It's tasting notes on labels.
Because I don't generally read that part of the label.
Don't tell me what your whiskey's supposed to taste like. Let me form my own opinion. Your tasting and my palate probably have little to nothing in common. So just let me figure it out for myself.
The only thing that, and we discussed this off camera, the only thing that I see that's different, and this is for the true beginners, and they are trying to decide what they want to buy in a store. The problem with it is, though, there's no way of knowing that that's what they're going to taste.
Yeah. If you say that
And it may frustrate them as much as anything else.
You say that your whiskey tastes like creme brulee and vanilla crumbles, and they taste it and tastes like oak and spice, they're not going to buy your product again.
Yeah.
Period. The end. So let people like us, little selfless promotion,
and many others out there,
many thousands of others who make this kind of content, whether it be in text form on a website or video form like we do, or TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram and all that stuff. Let them find people whose palates match up and be like, you know what? I really agree with Bill's notes on this whiskey that I do like. He also really likes this. Let me try that.
This is something that, and we say this to people all the time.
Yeah.
When we're doing tastings, when we just meet them in stores or we meet them in different places, and when they ask the question, you know, I can't pick up the notes that others pick up. The answer is take something that you drink, that you like, and just jot down the notes that you do pick up. Now go on to something like YouTube and look for people that are reviewing that bourbon, and then see whose notes match yours.
And while you look up these notes, have the glass in your hand. If they say they're getting brown sugar, and you're like,
try again.
Do I get brown sugar?
Maybe that's what that is.
Maybe not.
And the other thing is, then when you want to try something else and you found one or two or three that you kind of match up with, pick something that they've done, go pick that one up, and see then if you can match those flavors.
Exactly. Just see if it lines up well. Our next one is sort of one of the biggest pet peeves, I think, period. Anyone who already knows the different ways to enjoy a whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the right way to drink.
Yeah.
And we've got some props.
Should I
You
drink
can
it from
drink
a
your
rocks
whiskey out
glass?
of that.
Should I drink it from this?
You can drink your whiskey out of that.
Should I drink it from the bottle?
You can drink it out of a paper cup.
And I'll tell you, for a long time, I preferred drinking from a rocks glass. Not because I was drinking on the rocks, but because it fit my nose better, to be quite honest with you. And I did not like these because they didn't.
I did have to teach them how to use the Glencairn.
Now, I do like the Glencairn when I'm tasting. If I'm just sitting down to have a drink, it's in a rocks glass in general. And I like a heavy base, glass because it's substantial. I like that. Just something about it. And the other one is add ice, don't add ice. What do you want?
Do you want to pour it in Coke? Pour it in Coke.
Yeah.
It's your bourbon. You bought it. Do whatever you want with it.
I mean, we do school people sometimes as they are using ice and things like that. We tell them, get yourself some old-fashioned ice trays. Use distilled water. Do that because you don't know what's in your water. You've probably got chlorine. If you're on a city system, you got chlorine, you got fluoride, you got all these things. Don't use that. Use distilled, make your own ice. Go from there. Yeah. If you want the big cubes, do that thing. If you want the round ones, do that thing. If you want, whatever.
Do that. Do you.
Yeah, you do you.
I do have one caveat to this, though. If you are trying to get tasting notes and you are trying to really hone in a bourbon, drink it out of something like a Glencairn.
Yeah.
It's really hard to go. It's specifically designed to help concentrate and help eliminate a little bit of that ethanol that can come off of it.
And then another one. Never add water to bourbon. We hear that. We hear that a lot because we do use water quite a bit. But what we do is just what Josh did. 1 drop. The only reason we're doing the water is to get that whiskey to bloom a little bit, particularly on fresh cracks.
Yeah. And at this point, we're only doing it if we're struggling to pick something.
Right. If we get something that doesn't have much of a nose on it, or maybe we're having a bad
day,
bad evening, or whatever. So, or a bad morning, because sometimes we start at daylight.
And this is the biggest pet peeve I think that everyone will agree with. And Dad, you go ahead and roll with it.
Collective buyers,
people who buy to just have the bottle.
And you could look behind me and you could say, "Wait a minute, here's pot calling the kettle black." Well, what you'd find here is,
if we invited you over and you walked into this room and you said, "You know what? I have never had." The cellar age. That's not a great example because it's open. But if it wasn't open, we're like, all right, let's open it.
Let's open it.
Let's
see. There are very few bottles in here that are not open that we would not open.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're because they are for an upcoming special occasion or
it was distilled in the 1920s.
Yeah. And again, it's going to be
a special occasion.
For special. But there are bottles here that are not open that we'd open in a heartbeat.
Yeah. It's just
we open.
For us, it's a matter of the fact that we just have a ton of bottles.
We open 8 to 12 to 15
every filming session.
Yeah. So,
but this is more of someone who goes out and they're like, "Oh, hey, there's that Blanton Z top. I'm going to buy it," and never open it.
And the other one is some people, they get into that whole collection thing. Like, if you're going to do something, make it something that's worthwhile. Because I've seen on another channel, someone was collecting all the Yellowstones. And I'm like, why?
They produce them in mass numbers.
Yeah. The other thing that I would just caution anyone who is or has been doing that if you're doing this as an investment and expecting it to grow, you are about to hit
rock bottom,
a drop. The prices are falling and they are going to continue to fall for a while. We've been through a bourbon boom and we are going through a bourbon flood right now.
Yeah. And a part of what you're talking about is all these bottles have been harder to find. Like some of you guys have been talking about the last couple of years, not being able to go in and get a bottle of Buffalo Trace. Let me just tell you, we're in an ABC controlled state. Very rarely, up to even 6 months ago, you couldn't walk in and get a bottle of Buffalo Trace. I could go into just about any county's ABC store and buy a bottle now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it comes true with Eagle Rare. That's coming off the allocation list.
Blends is getting easier to find.
Yes.
There's multiple E.H. Taylor's getting easier to find.
And more than just Buffalo Trace product.
Yes.
These things are going to become available because they overproduced during the boom, and now it's the buyers are slowing down.
Yeah, you've heard it before: seller's market, buyer's market. So we are coming into a buyer's market, and that's why you're seeing some other great things that are happening. Some higher age statements, new releases, just some different things where there's better stuff going on the market. And guess what? When better stuff comes on the market at a decent price, here's a couple of examples. Wild Turkey 101 8-year for $45. That's in our state. Old Fitzgerald 7-year bottled in bond for
$60.
For $59. Old Granddad 7-year age state is going to be out. Don't know what the price is going to be, but I would guess that was going to be around $35. Would be my guess on that.
If it's over 50, I would be shocked.
Yeah, there's not. I don't think it'll even be. I don't think it'll crack 40. But and it'll be one that I'll go for because I love Old Granddad as it is. It's Beam's High Rye Mash Bill. I love it. So, but just those things are happening because there's a flood of whiskey, in the system.
Yeah.
So we're seeing allocations of things like BTAC get higher, Pappy get higher. Some different allocated bourbons. There's just more of it coming out there on the market. Buffalo Trace, you mentioned it. It's coming out there. And once people that have been starved for so long stop buying 2 and 3 when it hits, when they realize it'll be sitting on the shelf, it'll even out. It'll be there. It'll always be there, unless you just got a poor store manager or store owner.
Yeah.
So
this next one is mine.
Okay.
It's Easter egg hunts in stores. Stop hiding your bottles with the tequila. If you're going to do that, you're putting out 2 or 3 bottles at a time. You get a case. Cases are 3 or 6 bottles for the most part. Or 12, depending. Just make a section, clear out some space in your bourbon or whiskey section, and put them there.
Yeah.
Or put them on an end cap. Hey, these are new, these are new arrivals.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. You want some Eagle Rare? Here it is.
There you go. Right. You want to put a limit on it? Fine.
Yeah. 1 per customer. Do what you got to do as far as that.
I've even seen some do it as 1 per car.
Yeah.
Instead of having 4 people come in and buy, all together, do something like that. I've seen some 1 per car out there.
Yeah.
These next few are mine, and this goes back to I've been was in retail for 40 years or more, and just poor merchandising. I don't like to see a store that doesn't take and make good use of their space. And whether it be in their bourbon section or whether it be somewhere else, but this also helps the customer. One of the things I love to walk in and see is a store that does store picks, and they're all in one place. If they're out in an area and they are on barrels, great, that's fine. But I know then if I'm looking to look at your store picks, I can look right there and I'll see them all. Now, you may also have them on the shelf because that's a regular shelf sitter product and you've got it over there as well. That's fine. Another one that I like to see if you don't have that kind of space, take an end cap. End caps are prime real estate in any retail organization. End caps are prime real estate. Put your store picks on the end cap. Here's one I hate, and I will actually walk out of a store because of this. No pricing. If you believe in product that you're putting out there and you are willing to put a price on it, any price, I don't care what price you put on it, it's fine with me. It's your whiskey, you can do whatever you want to with it, or your tequila, or whatever it may be. Just go ahead and put the price on it. All you're doing is aggravating a customer when you don't have a price. And quite honestly, I'm shocked that state weights and measures, which is in every state, it's a government piece of the government, is not into this and seeing it. I'm not turning anybody in, don't worry. But it's just a basic customer service thing. Put the price on it. Because if you don't have the price on it, unless I am really interested in that bottle, I'm not going to ask you. I'm just not going to do it.
It's more trouble than it's worth.
And it's not always the allocated or the hot stuff or whatever. Sometimes it's just they don't put pricing on anything. How do your employees feel about having to look up a price every time someone wants to look at it, wants to ask?
And if you don't have prices on anything, people are going to ask. Because if they can go across the road and get something else, get it there.
Or they're just going to leave.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to. And so you're driving away business.
Yeah. To go along with that non-pricing, when you put that stuff behind the counter, look, I don't expect it to be MSRP.
No.
Okay. No. But if I see a price tag on a bottle that's maybe $20, $30, $40 over MSRP, and it's something I'm really itching for, I want to have, and I might be willing to spend that money, and I have to sit there and ask, hey, what's your price on that Russell's 13?
Because I can't see.
Yeah. Oh, it's $600?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I can't see the price.
If you put the price on there, I'm going to save you time, your employees' time, and my time. And I'm going to be a whole lot happier about it.
Right. And then the last one, and this is tough. This is tough in any business. I don't care what business it is. But it's a major difference maker for your customers. And that is well-informed employees. That they know something about what they're selling.
Sorry, your pet peeve is non-well-informed employees.
Well, yeah. So, but then again, I love to see it when they are very well-informed.
Yeah. Well, that's what you're saying. You don't like it when they don't know anything about anything you're asking.
I was recently in Heritage Liquors down in Simpsonville, South Carolina, and Kim is one of the workers in the store. And she was really, really not just about what they carry and different things. If she didn't know, she'd tell me she didn't know, she hadn't had it, whatever the case may be. But things that she did know and things that she had tasted and things like that, she knew it. And she would talk about it. And it was clear that she cared about what was going on. And that's just an example. One of the stores we love is in Kingsport, Tennessee, B&B Package. They're know their product.
They're great.
Yeah, you're never going to know everything about everything.
It's impossible.
But there are people that they know tequila because maybe that's what they're into. There are some that know bourbon. There are some that know wines, or all kinds of different things. But when you can have that, and again, 40 years in retail, training was one of the hardest things we did. But finding people who were passionate about the product that they sold, that was a big first step. And it really does make a great experience when you go in the store. So I feel like we're bitchy in this.
That's okay. These are pet peeves. We're getting it off our chest.
But really, if we go back to this, distilleries, please
we can breathe
change the cork.
That's the most important one for it.
Yeah. And we didn't put this on there, but if you're going to put the cellophane over the cork,
oh yeah, perforate it.
Please perforate it. Yeah, please perforate. And I get it. I know why you do it, because it gets it's traveling, it's hot in the truck, so you can have one pop, things like that. So I think it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. Just perforate it.
Don't make me get a knife to open it.
And companies like Rare Character, man, ease up on the wax, guys, or put a tear strip or something, because
there is a tear strip. They just wax so heavily over them that occasionally you feel like you are gonna break. I mean,
that bad boy is sealed. Let me tell you right now.
No worries about that thing.
Josh has to start 2 days ahead of time if we're going to taste one of those bottles one day. So,
well, Dad, it feels good to get that off our chest.
It does.
Hopefully,
hopefully you guys, again, drop us a comment.
What are your biggest issues?
Were we just bitching? But how do you feel about them? Maybe you hadn't thought about them.
This is a therapy session.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Thanks for hanging out here with us today. Leave your comments down below. I'd love to know what really irks you.
I'd like to see 1,000 comments on this. I would. Love to see it. So, but anyway, that's it. No drinking in this one. So I can't really, I'll still close it out the same way. Like a good bourbon. Our videos get better with time.
Oh, here, I got you. Like bourbons that check everything on this list, our videos get better with time.
There you go.
And as always, take care of yourselves.